Don't do a video when the sun is setting, because the light's going to change constantly, and when you're cutting, it's going to look ridiculous. I really want to start vlogging on the couch again. I'm so sick of that purgatorial dining room over there. Nighttime's coming back earlier, like a normal nighttime, and so maybe I can start doing videos like this. Thursday, yeah, that was launched at y'all like some kind of dirty bomb, just like a shit torpedo. I was out of my tree. I'm feeling relaxed now. Let's hope that just keeps up. Okay, shout out to my newest subscriber, is the best cousin ever. So now all the other cousins hate me, I guess. Well, no, you're all the best cousins ever. I love you all. A lot of my cousins are on Facebook and stuff. It's a good family that the cousins are tight, On both sides of the family, they're tight. And this is Kevin. Kevin's the coolest one. Maybe. We got like 10 years difference of age. Maybe it's even more. I don't know. As a young man, he was just a little kid. He was this cute little kid, and his brother Glenn was even younger and cute too. And they come to visit. I don't know. They just decided to latch one on each leg, just one on each of my poor legs, and I couldn't get anywhere really very fast because they're hanging on, giggling, hanging on to my leg. What is that game? I don't know what that game is. Torture Your Cousin Bob game. That's a good game. I'm really stuck. I thought this would be a lot easier. Darn it. I thought it'd be a lot easier. It's just the names. The ex, the other, and me. The ex was in fact my first boyfriend. You might have thought that Chris was my first boyfriend because he got the first video. But Chris was the one who sort of broke my soul. It just trampled on my heart. My first boyfriend ever. I would go to his place and hang out in the basement with him. He had the whole basement. And gosh, we were just 16, so it was kind of sweet in a way. Anyway, that ended in less than a year when I made a pass at his younger sister's boyfriend. A few years later, I was in my first or second year of university. He calls me, right? It's not like now. He called my cell phone, and I could just quietly sort of, he calls the home number sort of thing. And they're all got jacks into the wall. There's not a lot of privacy, in other words. So it was just kind of whispery. Is that you? Haven't heard from you for a while. How are you doing? Yeah, well, I'd like to come over. Oh, yeah, maybe we could find something to do, I'm sure. We've got a lot of catching up to do. A lot of catching up, baby. Yeah, he wasn't having me over for tea and a game of bridge. He lived on his own now. Not awfully far from me. I borrowed Dad's car. Just going to the library, Dad. I don't know. Going to go shoot some hoops. I need the car. I don't even know what I told him. I work part-time and I had night classes too, so it could have been anything like that I would tell him. And I went down there and found it pretty easily and knocked on the door, and this beautiful, he was a really beautiful young man, the other, who answered the door. It was really the eyes, in a way, sparkling young man eyes, Life hadn't destroyed them yet. Not yet, although he'd had a tough time. He hadn't had a very good life, but he still had light. There was still light in his eyes. And sexy. Man, in that biker kind of way. Yeah, but still boyish, How did that happen? Did you see what happened there? The color just changed completely. How does that happen? Or am I having a stroke? But yeah, beautiful, boyish, but sexy too. Man, I forgot about that ex-boyfriend pretty quick. Oh, what a slut! I suddenly wanted this one instead, actually. Can I trade up? Is that alright? Well, I just didn't know this one was available, so... Well, and he gave me a look. I mean, I wasn't... He wasn't innocent in this. There's a little bit of a... Hello? Going on... Not my fault. It's not my fault. He didn't tell me he had a gorgeous roommate. So the ex comes and he says, this is the roommate. It must have been awkward, though, I think. I really think that must have been an awkward thing. We had a moment alone together, you know, and he explained that he thought that the roommate would be out and that maybe we should try to find another time so we could be together alone. Anyway, I'm out at my car and the roommate comes out. We were chatting a bit before I got in the car, and maybe when the ex is not around, we could find a time you could come back. Am I really that much of a slut? It was basically the same thing I said to the ex. I had a friend call me an unrepentant man whore one time. Unrepentant man whore, that might be the name of this thing. This other party, the third party, the roommate. Come on. Anyway, he had a birthday coming up. His 18th birthday. Anyway, I think that's when we got together. And I got a cake. Some cheap-ass Loblaws cake. I think. Some card. Did I get a gift? Did I get a gift? Brought that, the gift. Man, we had a good time. No, we did. It involved a cake, I guess, and the shower, and the ex-roommate's bed, and he came home. He came home. And these things happen to me, but I deserve them. Why wouldn't I deserve that? Well, I mean, the story was that the two of them were through. But still, his bed with his ex, I'm not proud of myself. And just 18. I mean, I was just about 20, but still. Barely legal. He came home. And they screamed at each other and threw things. I remember a lamp. But there were some other things. And my ex... his ex, I guess, too. He had a girlfriend of his. She was throwing shit, too. I think there was a lot of throwing shit. Oh, man. The police came. Yeah, and they left pretty quickly. Just three homos in a love triangle. I guess they figured there wasn't much going on here, and they left. And I had to get this ex-roommate to a friend of his who lived in the most dangerous street in Ottawa. Anyway, I had to get him there somehow. So I called a cab, and I'm trying to calm down this ex-roommate because he's just crying and crying. Maybe I'm crying too. I think the ex was crying, and the roommate was. Everyone was crying. I don't think I was crying. What did I have to cry about? I just had the best sex ever with someone who was barely legal. So I don't think I was crying, but there was lots of crying, and me, I'm trying to comfort because, you know, I think at that point I decided that I was in love with the ex-roommate. Again with this falling in love bullshit that I did so easily in the day. Thank God I got over that. It's like a flu. This ex-roommate, I gotta give him a name. His name is Stu. So Stu and me, we're now a couple. Weirdest fucking couple ever. I don't know. Just a preppy, middle-class dude. Was in his second year of Carleton University, and this ex-street hustler. I think there might have even been some hustling in his past, and I don't want to badmouth him. I don't want to do any slanderous remarks. I know he was kept by a much older man for a while. Someone's getting unhappy because he wants to finish the story. The cat is fussy, and I'm losing the light, and I keep using this guy's real name, and that keeps dropping frames. I was going to rescue Stu. Terrible name, but I had to come up with something. I was going to rescue Stewie He'd been through a lot. And I even kept a really beautiful picture of him. And here, you know, I'm kind of serious. It was really a really beautiful picture where he's on the top of our CN tower. I mean, not on top like that. That'd be very dangerous. But he was in the observation deck, and it's just a profile picture. And he's looking out, and you see his beautiful eyes, and the city in front of him, and just lost expression. It was quite a beautiful picture, honest to goodness. I'm not even trying to sell a joke here. And I kept that picture with me for a while. You know, and I'd look at that picture when I missed him. But that's kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit. I remember we were out dancing one time, and we met some other couple, and it looked like they were fighting or something. I don't know. Maybe I was having trouble with Stu as well. And I remember going up to him and saying that, you know, this other guy, and saying, "Hey, you know, if things don't work out with that guy, you know, he can come with me. I'm not sure they're working out so well with that guy." Oh, Jesus. I'm reprehensible. I mean, that's why I don't date anymore. I bagged Stewie there, tricked the ex into thinking we were getting together again, and now I'm trying to get with this other one. So I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm the one, the brave, adult, strong person who's going to save Stewie from this awful life that's been so cruel to him. And if things don't work out with your guy, then I don't need him so much. He's not working out so well. That got back to Stu, actually. Was pretty angry about it. I wonder why. I hadn't heard from him for a while. And neither had my ex. We talked together, you know, the enemy of my friend is my friend of my enemy, or whatever. Anyway, we were tight because we were worried about Stewie. And so we were talking, and apparently he had taken off to hang out with one of his ex-tricks, boyfriends slash clients, I don't know what, some guy in the other end of the city, and with one of those stupid names that the mother made up when she was still high on the epidural, Cathcart, Brisbane, or Beetlejuice Sanford, or you know, or Johnson Liverpool. He had a stupid name anyway. Anyway, he informed me that he'd been hanging out with you know, Rothschild, Lancashire the third, an older man with lots of money. He'd been hanging out with him, and I finished. Remember the chicken joint with the Portuguese mafia? And there we are, Portuguese chicken mafia. I don't want to say bad things about the Portuguese mafia. This was the Portuguese chicken mafia, and I was really having fits, you know, because what can you do in those days? You're not able to call. I think I did find a number for this Bimbo Livingston or whatever, and you know, I think we had like voicemail machines, you know, like a box that put a tape in, and you know, maybe I left a message. I don't know. I couldn't get a hold of him. I mean, I couldn't call his cell. The boys and girls, why couldn't I call his cell? That's a trick question, or it's a quiz for you. So we're waiting at the place beside the chicken joint that sold submarine sandwiches, and we're waiting there for Stewie to show up, and he did. Like screeching in on this car. It was a decent car, I think. And he screeches in. That's terrible. There's got to be a sound effect in there so that I don't have to do it. He comes screeching in and comes into the door. He looked mean drunk because he was, you know, he wasn't a tall man, but he was sturdy, he was strong, he was sexy that way, and he wasn't, you know, he was a young man, but he could still be very commanding. He's like, "Come with me, come with me." He's loaded, driving, wants me to come with him, and I say, "No, I can't come with you." It's gotta be one of the worst moments of my life because he just, "That's fine, I'm fine," left, and he drove off again. Man, I let him drive in that condition. I don't know what I could have done. Someone driving that drunk, I think you could call the cops on them. You know, if you didn't think you had the strength to wrestle them down, to take the keys. I think you probably could. At some point I went home, terrified of what was going to happen to Stewie out there. loaded, driving this car. He calls me up from the police station and says, I hit a tree. It was a beautiful tree. Anyway, we had a good conversation. Because remember, at the end of this year, I was to go to Madrid. I was going to go to Madrid for a few months. And I wouldn't be able to see Stewie. God, I left the country right at the best time, didn't I? After I'd embarrassed myself in front of the Portuguese chicken mafia. And it was an excellent way to escape Stewie. Also, grandfather died around that time and I had to go to Toronto for a funeral. It was kind of this very busy time going on. And my sister got married and moved out. I was still in it for the long haul in my mind with Stewie. You know, I thought together we could probably work out some of these problems and get him on the right track. And I remember, by the way, that I'm a full-blown alcoholic who found himself in a 12-step program a few years later himself. But I was going to rescue him. This is the thing that's so about my life. But there was a problem, and Stewie explained it pretty well, that there were certain things that he enjoyed doing that I wasn't quite up to yet, and that if I couldn't provide it for him, he could find it somewhere else. At the end of 1985 was a very busy time, but it was also excellent distraction for me to get over some of the things in the world that were starting to gang up on me, as they do, all of us in life. If there's a don't in this story, don't be such a slut like me. You know, if you're drinking and driving, just be careful of the oak trees. Don't drink and drive, kids. Don't. All kinds of don'ts in this. I don't know. Find out what the fuck's going on with your ex and some roommate, and then he's invited you. Was that supposed to be a threesome? Maybe that's what that was supposed to be. Why didn't they just say that? Yay! It's one of my favorite things. If you're going to be a slut like me, shame on you, but at least be careful, because being a slut, you can get into all kinds of trouble, and I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm not sure how to end this. We'll see how it cuts.